We got another key inflation report that came out this morning that was hotter than expected, showing inflation is stickier than expected and that the last mile is harder than we originally anticipated. The producer price index inflation numbers for November, known as the PPI inflation numbers, they're the prices that wholesale businesses face for their costs of goods, and they came in at year over year at 3% compared to 2.6% estimated. And then month over month was 0.4% compared to 0.2% estimated. The month over month number being 0.4% is something that we really have to watch, month over month being that high. And then core PPI, which is minus volatile food and energy, also was higher than expected. I still expect the Fed rate cut next month. However, I think 2025 there'll be less rate cuts than expected due to stronger than expected economic growth and persistent inflation. On top of that, I want to talk a little bit about Tesla. Tesla hit a record high yesterday, its first record high in over 3 years. And since President Trump won the election, Tesla stock's up 69%. And look, I mean, under the Trump administration, there'll be a friendlier regulatory environment for Tesla, given Elon Musk is so involved with the Trump administration, especially with his new role as one of the co-heads of the Department of Government Efficiency. It's likely that Elon Musk will work on cutting red tape, regulation, and inefficiency. And President Trump also said he'll work on speeding up approvals and permitting and whatnot. So that's good for Tesla. That's why Tesla stock's done so well. On top of that, we also had GM make an announcement that they're stopping investment in the robotaxi division. And that's another advantage that Tesla has. Tesla's putting a lot of resources into their robotaxi division, as that'll be the next leg of growth. Tesla isn't just a car company, it's a technology conglomerate. It's an AI and robotics company. On top of that, the Kelley Blue Book also said that Tesla is the most American-made car. So that's good news too. And I think Tesla stock should continue to do well, in my opinion. On top of that, I want to revise my S&P 500 price target for next year, 2025. So I initially said that 7,000 is my base case and 7,500 is my bull case. I want to take that back now. I think we'll hit 7,000 next year, and Tom Lee thinks so too, but I think that'll be in the middle of next year. And then I think there'll be so much euphoria hitting up to that number that will likely see a sell-off to 6,600 by year-end next year. That's still a 10% rally from here, but we had such strong growth the last 2 years in terms of 2023 and 2024. I think we're starting to get slightly ahead of ourselves, which will be illustrating that 7,000 price target, but I think that'll happen mid-year next year. Then ultimately by the end of next year, we'll hit about 6,600. That's what Tom Lee said, and I really kind of agree with that. Let's see what happens. Look, we could get more bullish than that, but we have so much euphoria and optimism in the last 2 years, and since President Donald Trump won the election. Look, we also do have a Trump and a Fed put. The Fed doesn't want the economy to slow, and Trump is probably the most pro stock market president in terms of its performance. He's really watching the stock market day to day. So Trump really doesn't want to see the stock market go down. He was at the New York Stock Exchange today ringing the opening bell, and he really measures his performance based on the stock market and business. But either way, I'm going to revise my base case next year for year end to be 6,600. It's still a 10% upside from here. And I also want to talk about Microsoft and Bitcoin. Microsoft shareholders denied putting Bitcoin on Microsoft's balance sheet. That's not surprising. Microsoft is a very large company and Bitcoin has a lot of risk to it. Bitcoin could go Bitcoin could go down 30 to 80%, and I don't think Microsoft wants to risk that. You know, Microsoft's been around for a while and doesn't want to risk those huge drops with their excess cash. But look, Bitcoin will stop going up when the government stops printing money, and I don't expect that anytime soon, and Anthony Pompliano agrees with that. So I think Bitcoin has a lot of potential ahead. I think 250,000 by next year. It will probably be the peak of the cycle. And obviously we have to see. Another news update with Bitcoin is that President Donald Trump's son, Eric Trump, went to Abu Dhabi for a Bitcoin conference. And he was pretty much saying that Donald Trump's pretty much going to be the most pro-crypto president in history. and trying to roll back regulations, make it easier for crypto companies to do business here in America. And that should be pretty good for the asset class. We're seeing that with Paul Atkins as his new appointee for SEC chair. And and also David Sachs as the AI and crypto czar. It's good to see technologists in the White House now, and the fact that we're going to have a friendlier regulatory regime and not regulation by litigation, and that we're going to try to set clearer rules and regulations going forward for crypto and Bitcoin as an asset class. We're not going to rely on trying to fit Bitcoin and crypto into securities laws from 1933. It's a different technology. I think this is good for the crypto industry, and crypto and Bitcoin should flourish, in my opinion.